Hello and welcome to Babbles Travelling Yarns. This has taken a while to start and set up, so I'm just going to go for it whatever happens now. How are you? My name is Grace. I am coming to you from Limerick on the west coast of Ireland, and this is a knitting and crafty podcast with a little bit of book reading at the end, a little bit of just chats about books that I've been reading. And I've done a little bit of crafting the last couple of weeks. It's probably been about 3 weeks since I talked to you last. I've just been quite busy every weekend at work, and during the week I've been off because I've been doing night shifts, so I haven't been able to be in any sort of right mind to chat to anybody and present it on the interwebs. So here we are today. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what I'm wearing. I am wearing literally my uniform now. This is my absolute uniform. This is the Slow Wardrobe teal dress, which I cannot stop wearing. I love it so damn much. You've seen it a million times. It's stunning. It goes all the way down to my knees, and I'm really tall, so it's really comfy. I sometimes wear a belt if I'm feeling shapely, but today I just feel like being comfortable, so that's fine. I'm also wearing two little sets of earrings. Actually, I just decided to go, crazy and wear one each. And these were sent to me handmade by CC on Instagram. And there's a little green one there, and then she sent me another. This is the one I requested, actually. I thought this was really cute. And then she sent me this little star as well, which is super adorable. I don't really wear I don't wear earrings in work, especially dangly ones, because they can get pulled and ripped. And then I work in a hospital, and sometimes I work with kind of confused patients, so it's just safer not to wear kind of things that can get pulled and grabbed. And also I was gonna take like some nice stylish photos of them in my ear, but turns out I really don't like the side of my face, so that's something I didn't know. So sorry if I didn't. She sent them to me, just as a gift, but yeah, so she's an Irish company, a small little jewelry company. So I said, yeah, sure. I get an awful lot of requests from random, like, big companies that are trying to convince me to, oh, you're perfect for our brand, we love your content, and they've never seen anything that I make. So yeah, but this girl just reached out to me directly and said, listen, I've just got this small little thing. I don't know if she follows me or not, but I said, you know what, it's an Irish company, so handmade by _CC. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Yeah. So I didn't get paid, I just got the earrings, so just wanted to say yeah. So this morning, it is Saturday, the 20th of February. It's windy and rainy and miserable. James has gone out of the house for the first time in a long time. He's given me 3 hours on my own in the house. So what do? I podcast. I just find it's awkward to podcast with someone else in the house. Not that he doesn't mind. I mind. It just feels, I don't know, it just feels easier to do it when no one else is listening to me if I make mistakes or whatever. I don't know. So, but yeah, I have so much to talk about, actually, so much. I did an Instagram live there a minute ago this morning, and then I was like, oh, I have to talk about this. Oh, I have to talk about this. Oh, actually, because I wasn't sure if I had enough to fill a podcast, but it's Babbles Travelling Yarns. There's always something to talk about. So, can I just recommend 2 podcasts to you first? If you haven't come across them before, if I haven't talked about them before, if you haven't seen me talk about them on my Instagram channel, which is Grace the Babbler on I'm Grace the Babbler on Instagram if you want to follow me over there. I am 300 people off 10,000, and I really want that swipe up. But yeah, I really want to recommend The Creep Dive and Mother of Pod. Now, these 2 podcasts do come with a mature warning. There's a large amount of inappropriate behavior, so I do want to just put that down there. This is an adults only space. So The Creep Dive is all about kind of stories, weird stories on the internet, like cons or murders or just really weird stuff, like So there's 3 hosts on the Creep Dive. There's Cassie Delaney, who is the producer, and she runs a podcast producing company called talltales.ie. And then there's Sophie White, who's an author, and she has authored 2 books, well, no, 4 actually. She's got 1 more coming out, but one was Recipes for a Nervous Breakdown, and then the other 2 were kind of works of fiction called Filter This, and then the second was Unfiltered, and they're really cute, like rom-com kind of stories about life on Instagram. And then there was and then her new book coming out is called Corpsing: My Body and Other Horror Stories, and it's just about her I don't know actually what it's about, but I assume from what I've heard it's about her and her journey through life, being a mother and mental illness and stuff. So I have it ordered, I have it pre-ordered, so I really recommend those books as well. And then the third person in the Creep Dive is Jen O'Dwyer, who is one of the most chaotic but most enjoyable storytellers on the planet. You please do it. Just please do it. It's really good. If you like My Favorite Murder, I think you'll love these girls. And they're also Irish, which is relevant and gorgeous. I love them. Then the second podcast I'd love you to listen to, if you are a mother, you will highly relate. If you are thinking about being a mother, but you're, or if you want to learn more, or if you are a man, you should listen to this podcast and understand what is ahead of you. It's no hole. It's I know there's another podcast called No Holes Barred, but like, Mother Pod is basically a no holds barred complaining episode. Not complaining, but it's just thoroughly informative, fascinating and hilarious look into the 2 girls. So it's Sophie White, the same as the Creep Dive, Sophie White and Jen O'Dwyer, and they both have kids, and it's basically their stories and therapy sessions on how to cope or not. So really, really thoroughly recommend those. Those 2 podcasts have been keeping me completely sane throughout lockdown. And actually they on the Creep Dive on the Patreon, they have weekly Zooms on Thursdays, and they do a live podcast with like 200 of their closest friends or whoever can catch it. And I texted them the other day actually about my story. It's a story I haven't told on this podcast because I don't think it's an appropriate story for this podcast. But if you are interested, it's now live. It's only a 5 or 8 minute podcast. The start of the podcast, there was 2 of us telling creeps. Mine was really short, but it is the story about how I learned how to spin and where I got the fleeces, and the story of who gave me the fleeces. It's it's not a pleasant story, but it's interesting. I'm going to leave it there. Unfortunately, you'll have to be a patron of the Creep Dive to find out, because I was on the Zoom for that. It was so much fun to tell my little hometown murder creep about fleeces. So that was fun. I really recommend those. And if you're not a patron, if you do listen to Creep Dive, I know a lot of people have followed them because of what I think I must have recommended them last year or something. But if you're not a patron, definitely it's like €4 a month or something. So, but very, 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 very funny. And I'm pretty much always there on Thursdays as well. And so I'm in the chat if you want to join me while they're telling their stories. So really, really recommend that. Right, down to the knitting. 10 minutes in. Okay, not terrible, pretty terrible. Sorry. Right, so the first thing I made a little, these are my notes. Look at my notes. Number 1. So these are kind of my handy ones that I've been knitting. This is actually a bag that my sister got for me from Amazon. It's really cute and handy. I got this. Yes, so sorry, I had to just double check what I was talking about. So these are a pair of socks that I started in the summer, I think. These are the Pebbles and Pathways socks by Marceline Smith by Hey Brownberry. And they are knit out of, I'm knitting them 2 at a time. These are the cuffs, and I've knit the heels. Look at the little heels. And I'm knitting them out of a sock blank that I dyed. I'm hopefully going to get 2 pairs out of this one sock blank. It's a double knit sock blank, so both of them are exactly the same. And those are for sale currently, I think, if she still has them. They're for sale in Irish Fibre Crafters. You can find them in the link below in the shop there, and you can find the rest of my yarn available there as well. It's the only place that my yarn is for sale, not even on my Etsy shop, just at Irish Fibre Crafters. So please support a local Irish business to me and my lovely friend Sandra, who runs the shop. If you do want to buy some yarn, some Babbles yarn, because it's kind of in rare supply, because I haven't been able to get around to dyeing for ages. I will get back to it at some point. I really do want to get back to it, but just not possible right now, so that's okay. So what am I talking about here? I've managed to mess it up. Right, so I started knitting the Pebbles and Pathways socks because I absolutely love this design down the front. I did a garter stitch mini heel flap and gusset from a pattern from Mina Phillip, actually. She has tutorials on how to do this, but you just have a small tiny little gusset, and then I did, actually it's kind of a combo of a couple of different things. So the mini heel flap and gusset is from Mina Phillip, who's the knitting expat. Then I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel all in garter. So instead of purling back and knitting, you know, I just knit everything. And it just gives a lovely little squishy heel, you know, for walking in your shoes. Yeah, I just really like it. They're really comfortable like that. So, and they're really easy to knit like that as well. I'm knitting 2 at a time, which means that I might have some new followers actually. So in case you don't know, I knit pretty much everything 2 at a time because I hate the thought of knitting one thing and then having to go back and do the same thing again. Ugh, nightmare. So I find that's why I love the double sock blanks, is because it rarely gets tangled. She says, as it has got tangled. But it's not like 2 balls of yarn that are rolling around the place. You can literally just keep it on your lap and just pull it out. So it really easily doesn't get tangled. So all you have to do is, hey, stop it. Stop your scritching. Don't be annoying me. Sorry, Beans is in a box and he's scratching it. Excuse me, sir. Could you stop that? Just destroying. He's just destruction in a ball of fluff. Yeah, so when you're knitting 2 at a time, you're essentially just using 2 separate strands. You can use 2 different balls, or you can use a double sock blank like this. No! Get out! Hey, come on. Get down. Stop switching and stip it. I can't get him out of the box. I'm sorry, you guys. He just switched me. I deserved it though, I did. How dare I? Yeah, I'm using a long cable with 2.5mm ChowGoo needles. I love this red, I love the cable that comes with the ChowGoos. It's got a metal part inside that, and then it's coated in a plastic. And it never kinks, it never holds the memory of, like, if you need to kink it to move some yarn around or whatever. And I love the longer tips. I love a long tip when I'm knitting 2 at a time socks. Stop it. Cat abuse. So I love the long tip, and with the ChowGoos, they're not too sharp, but they're still pretty sharp. So they're quite nice. I'm gonna have to, excuse me. Right, in the kitchen. I'm not going to do any editing on this podcast because I only have 3 hours. I'm not going to be spending all of that on editing, so it's raw, baby. Note to self, don't say anything rude. Okay, Grace. Now, so yeah, so I'm using ChowGoo needles. I'm knitting, actually I have to check how long the cable is. It's probably like 60 or 80 inches. No, I actually don't know how long it is. Do I get my, 1 second. Excuse me. Aha! My new desk is amazing because it has everything in it. Love it. I feel like a professional. So if we go from here and then we fold around, it's around 100 centimeters from tip to tip. 100 centimeter fixed needle, including the needles. And these are 6 inch tips. I know I'm still mixing up my inches and centimeters, and I will for the rest of my life. So it's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the way my brain is wired now. Yeah, so I find the longer cables are handier for magic loop. I just find if they're smaller, it can get a little bit fiddly and you might lose your stitch count. You know, the stitches might flip around. Yeah. But I love ChowGoos. They're my absolute favorite needles. So I have a few sock needles and then I have an interchangeable set as well. I do think I need, I'm getting the urge to knit kind of larger gauge projects, you know, like looser fabric and larger gauge, or like marl, a marl fingering weight maybe, you know, so hold 2 strands together. But I'm kind of missing a set of needles like 5, 5.5, 6s. You know, I'm missing those larger sizes. I'm measuring those in millimeters now, not American sizes. So I'm missing like 5 millimeters, 5 millimeters, 5.5 and 6 millimeter needles. So I do think I will order some of them. Interchangeable tips, and I might order some new cables as well because I have 2 cats who like to chew on cables when they're left out, which is devastating. So anyway, so the next knitting project I'm going to talk about is my little my Sweet Georgia. I'm a Sweet Georgia ambassador, so there are a couple of links down below if you want to have a look at the shop and things available, and also I have a discount code if you want to find out that as well. It's all in the bit below. But I have not really done anything with this project. This is a Habitation Throw using a party of 5 set that I thought that I ordered 2 party of 5 kits, and one of them was this blue one and one of them was this purple one, but this is the next set, but I literally, the only reason I haven't done anything is, oh my god, they look so pretty there, don't they? Oh my god. Oh, the colors. I just need to wind them up. I literally just have to get my Swift out and I just haven't managed to do that yet. So, oh my god, it's so pretty. Okay, so calm down. So yeah, I just need to do that. But what did I do when I was actually sorting out my craft room? I was moving around a few bits for the background of the last Zoom conversation that we had, which was talking, and I was the special guest. So I was like moving around some bits just to make a nice background, and I found this whole set of the same set of party of 5, and I was like, so yeah, I don't know how that happened. So I'm just wondering now, what do I do with it? So I have an idea, but I've actually also had another idea. Okay, so my first idea was I finish off this square. I was talking last time about how this square is a little bit small for anything other than a baby blanket, and this yarn is too precious to just go into a baby blanket. So I was going to use one of the other Sweet Georgia yarns. Go away, Shay. Sure. So I was going to use, I was going to use Evening in the Tough Love sock as an outside and knit like a hat design with feather and fan to make it bigger and like just more like a nice cozy blanket for me. However, now I have this. I'm like, what? Like, I could totally use this as the feather and fan with the you know, and it would look really cute. I don't know how big it's going to be. Probably not very big. You know, once you start knitting around, you take up so much more yarn. So it probably won't give me that much, but it'll probably give me about 3-4 inches either side. So yeah, that's maybe the plan. But then I saw a pattern which kept coming up on my Instagram. The Peperomia pattern by Woolen Pine Designs. Oh my God, it is so beautiful. I'll put a picture here somewhere. Oh my God, it is absolutely breathtaking. I am completely in love with it. So it's color work using this like leaf design that kind of fades and pixelates away up to the underbust. And then it's just a normal kind of V-neck jumper, which I also love. I love the V-neck aspect as well. So then I was thinking, okay, wait a second. What if I use, because it uses 3 skeins of fingering weight in your main color. Which could be this. And then what if I faded up the design using the light color at the bottom and then right? But the color work is so effective that it'll fade anyway. So I'm wondering, should I get another, I was thinking about looking at the new spring colors and seeing if I could get a speckled version of something in this color with the Sweet George. I might, like, to be honest, I have so much, because it really works well with variegated or yeah, like strongly variegated yarn in a kind of an overall color, and then a contrasting color which is much lighter, like a really light and a really dark. So I think I must have something that would go with this as well. I was kind of thinking, oh, this would totally suit, but then actually looking at them together, the color work would totally vanish. I mean, it's supposed to vanish. I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think it's a good idea to do with this? Sorry, now. I know it's got with this, or should I pick 2 yarns of the same color, because the color work is going to do the vanishing anyway, and I'll have much less ends to weave in. In that case, you know, do you remember the whole concept of jogless join or helical knitting? You wouldn't really need to do that with that color work because it's all split up anyway. You'd only need to start doing it maybe at the top, but to be honest, the top from here up, you would only need to use one anyway, and you wouldn't really notice a difference in a jog or a jump. And the sleeves, generally you'd be all right, I think. Might do it for the sleeve. I might do jogless join for the sleeves. So let me know, what do you think? I know I have a couple of options. Oh my God, I love it. I saw it and my heart just dropped out of my soul. And that hasn't happened to me for a while, actually. I haven't seen a pattern that I truly love in a long time. So I was really happy about that. So, but if I choose a different contrast color, I can then use that as a feather and fan. So I might do that. I might do that. Oops. Oops. Oopsala. Oh, I have my needles in there and everything. That's nice. So that's ready to go to be something. I was going to do the pavement sweater, but again, I keep changing my mind on this one. It's so pretty. So then I have started again using, knitting my wedding top, the top of my wedding gown thing. And I'm using some absolutely gorgeous 100% mulberry silk from Norne Yarn. what is that? Oh, it's, this is lavender. Sorry, it's not speckles, it's just bits of lavender. Yeah, so I'm using it in my my Cottage No. 9 silk line bag, just because I find it just keeps the sheen on the silk instead of having it bounce around and get fluffy. So this is the start of it. I haven't got very far. I only started like doing it. I had to redo all of the charts, and I have them all on my computer on a Google Doc, and yeah, so I'm going from there. And I've decided to do a kind of a butterfly, a kind of a loose sleeve. Yeah, I think we'll see how I go with that. I think it'll be cute. And I want to, just to make it, so I don't want it like big and flouncy. I want kind of a smooth, and then I want to bead it at the bottom so it kind of falls really elegantly. I think that'd be really cute. So that is my plan for that. I really need to but that's a really sit down and concentrate job, which I haven't been able to get into that zone for a while, because I have to literally sit here and look at the computer. I feel like if I need like an audiobook or a whole raft of podcasts to like sit down and just like take my mind off of that and just, I don't know, we'll see how we go with that. And I'm knitting it on a fairly large gauge because I wonder, do I have I've done a, where is it? Ah, there we go. So these are my measurements currently. This is the COVID stone right there, which is fine. I'm saving the economy. And this is my gauge swatch. So that's the lace that I wanted. I wanted this kind of frothy, organic. I didn't want any straight lines or chevrons or anything like that. I really wanted a kind of a frothy, kind of organic design, I guess. So that is how it's gonna go. And I've got a slightly different design for the sleeves, which I haven't measured. So that's the gauge that I'm going for, big open gauge across. And I think I've got something like, there's space for 3 of these across the front and 3 across the back, or I can't remember. Anyway, I think it's going to be really cute. This pattern, I honestly, there was a website where this lady, if anyone knows it, I can't find it again, but this lady had, or this person had, she had this computer program where you'd put in a word and it would create a lace knitting pattern, like mathematically. And the word that created this one was called Synergy, which I thought is really cute. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. So I like it. It's kind of like a cross, you know, like two things joining. I thought it was really cute. So that is that. Very slow going. September is my end. I'm only making the top, and then it's going to be joined by a silk belt across my waist, my actual waist, and then there'll be an A-line dress. And then I've got the veil, and yeah, that's it. We just have to show up then. And COVID has to let us have more than 6 people. We are currently we're currently in complete lockdown, with the schools closed. I think they're gonna try and open the schools up for exam classes and for young kids. I don't know how they're doing it, but we're basically locked within a 5K radius of our own homes for until May. It's February, so that's that. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, let's go back to knitting though. So, oh, actually, I want to make sure that I'm staying on track here. So, right, so I've talked about my wedding dress. So then I've also actually, talking about Sweet Georgia, I've ordered some fiber from them in their new spring colorways. And I ordered 3 separate colors. I put it up online actually, and I chose 3 separate colors. I cannot remember which ones I chose now. I put them on screen here. So these are the ones I chose, 1 braid of each, and I'm going to spin them and knit them up into a cardigan again. Something like this. I feel like I learned so much doing this one. This is my first spin and make along project, and it's now turned into my fluff to stuff project. So I got really delayed with on this one. I just kind of, what I did was I knit the whole body, and then I realized that the yarn for the sleeves, I didn't save any from the top. I didn't save any of the blue or the light grays, and all I had was the deep purples. And I just didn't want suddenly deep purple sleeves. I did want to blend. So I'm knitting 2 at a time sleeves. Again, here's my obsession with everything 2 at a time. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to knit across so I can separate it out and I can show you what it looks like. Because for the body of this, you can see that there's stripes in there, right? And that's because I was doing my jogless join or helical knitting, because this is 3 different braids of color, which I spun separately and I didn't have any plans for. So then what I did was I blended them together using that jogless join or helical knitting technique, and it just made it a lot more, you know, I didn't have bands and stripes. I didn't really fancy bands and stripes in my sweater because, I don't know, I've always, there's that whole thing about stripes like making you feel bigger. I think that's I think it's just one of those rules that my mother told me. So I've always stayed away from them. But I think it's a lie. But I've literally never worn a striped t-shirt. So I didn't really fancy that, you know, the thick stripes. I think thin stripes are all right because they kind of blend together to look as a color, which I really like. I like that kind of, there we go. So this is what we are looking like at the moment. So, but I had to spin these colors separately. And I had to literally like buy more fiber and kind of hand blend them. So they're going to blend down into the purples, into the deep browns. So they're hopefully gonna make sense. And then I still have a load of purple. So I'm gonna start blending in the purple from about here, and then it'll finish off in the purple. And I still have a load of this. But there's nowhere really to put that, so I'll probably blend that in here as well, just for the crack. I might finish off with the edges. I might finish off the cuffs in the blue. That'd be cute. But yeah, so the next one I'm going to do with the other Sweet Georgia is I might actually break up the braids and spin them, like do the spinning really consciously and separate out my colors. I'm actually going to use Alana Wilcox has an amazing book called A New Spin on Colour. I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I'm going to use her technique for knitting a jumper. So I need to reread the book, or for spinning for a jumper or a cardigan or a garment on the top of your body with sleeves. And so I'm going to use her technique. I need to go back over, I can't remember it exactly, so which is why I need to get the book actually. I want to actually buy the actual book. She sent me an ebook to review, but it's so good that I want to buy the actual book. But shipping from the States into Europe is tricky at the moment because I think things are getting sent back. I don't know. So anyway, that's my plan. I have the ebook in the meantime. So I really want to make conscious decisions about colour placement on my next spun sweater. So that's fun. I do have another really fun project, which is part of my spin or my fluff to stuff. I'm not actually doing much spinning, but I am doing a lot of spinning with, or knitting with my hand spun. So this, I think, is John Arbon's Alpaca Supreme Azurite colorway. It might be that, or it might be the Merino Silk Poseidon, but I think the Poseidon colorway has a lot more green in it than this does, and that's kind of pure blue. And the Alpaca Supreme, so it's a bit of silk, there's a little bit of white in it, you see, so that's why I thought it was the Merino Silk. I'm terrible at labeling things. So I wanted to take part in the knit along that is run by Hey Brown Bright Mars and the Earth Tones girl, Denise. So I knit a pair of mittens. I started off these as the super simple mittens on Ravelry, but yeah, so they were quite well. The only thing is this is quite long, and I didn't want it to be covered because I need to use my phone, so I left a tiny little it's so small. It's the tiniest tip. So I'm gonna have to take that out and rip it back at a couple of so funny. So I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but it turns out that I kind of made a cute little pattern where I decreased along to the outside on both edges, which is quite cute. It's made a little V up to my nail, up to my thumbnail. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's decreasing down there. So it's so small. Like the smallest. It's such a small little thumb hole. So anyway, so I started on the next one anyway, and this is just a really simple project to get going. Now, of course, I've decided that I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to follow the pattern anymore. I think I'm increasing too fast here because this one looks like slower than this one. Does that make sense? So that has kind of like a, this is one and then this is the other, whereas this one seems to be like, ooh! You know, the angle on this one seems to be wider than this one. I could just go back and look at the pattern. One could do that. That could be a thing one could do, but then I'd have to rip it out. And that would be, oh no, like an hour's work. I'm so allergic to knitting out, or to ripping out things. I hate it. So I literally just keep going, even though I... Anyway, so I'm going to get a pair of mittens out of this one ball of skein of yarn. I didn't measure it. Ooh, I didn't weigh it either. I think it's like an Aran weight. Listen, the only thing, how I knit with hand spun, because my gauge is always all over the shop because I don't really spin consistently, it's just to try it on all the time and just see how you're doing. So yeah, that's my plan. Hello friend. I haven't tried this one on. That would help. I need to get a bag for it actually. The cuffs are always so skinny. Hands up. So that doesn't look too bad actually. See, that's what I'm talking about. It'll be fine. Should I just stop increasing now? Because I feel like I have enough there to join together. But I still need to go up. Should I just follow the pattern? Boring. You nerd. Anyway. So those are all the bits that I've been knitting really. Have I anything else to talk about? Yeah, oh yeah, I spoke to you about the Peperomia pattern using my Sweet Georgia yarn, which would be lovely to use all of that yarn in the one project. So yeah, oh, I just wanted to say the pattern that I used for this one was the sew faded sweater, but I didn't use the fading technique that she did. I used my jogless joint technique. So that was my fiber there, my own hand spun. And I have one more pattern that I keep seeing. I don't know, Instagram is just throwing these beautiful patterns at me. But there's this absolutely stunning pattern by Colibri by Joanna. And it's a DK cardigan, another DK, which is like the Winterfell cardigan. And it has the same sort of, it has a V lace shape. It's called the Amedeo cardigan, and I'll show you here. And it is just beautiful. The drape on it is so lovely. So it just feels like it'll be a really nice summery kind of spring cardigan. I love it. I think I just love those lines. So nice. She has a jumper as well, like a pullover with a V neck as well, which I really like, but I love the cardigan aspect. I think I realized that cardigans are my jam. I just hate knitting them. I think I probably do have to knit this one in the flat though, the Amedeo cardigan, because I think I definitely mess up the lace if I was knitting it in the round, because I always forget. Whereas if I know I just have to purl back on the lace rounds, then everything is just much simpler. So I'll just have to get over myself and purl that one, I think. But it's DK, which means it should go quite fast. So I need to go into my DK stash and see what I have. Or double up and use some yarns. Oh yeah, I could fade something. Marl. I could marl. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't been doing much spinning. Oh, I did want to say that tickets are available currently for the February Zoom, for the Fluff to Stuff Zoom. And I think they went up a few days ago. Actually, I haven't had a look to see if they're sold out yet. So double check, and I'll leave all the details there where you can buy your tickets. We had such a great time the last time. It was really, really fun to see everybody, see what you were doing. It felt a little bit like we were all at a festival, because like I recognized so many faces, and I met other people through it, and it was just really lovely. Our special guest this time is Mars from Hey Brownberry, and she is going to tell us all about her spinning journey, how she started spinning, and how we figured that out. That was fun. And we also actually, as part of the Fluff to Stuff, we did an interview on the Woolen Spinning radio station with Rachel Smith. But that was so much fun, and we told our story about how me, Mars and Mina met, and kind of how we knew each other and how our paths crossed. And it's just such it's quite a strange roundabout way of how we all kind of became fast friends, and the people that we complain to when things are going wrong. We have the little WhatsApp group which started this Fluff to Stuff thing, and it's just a lot of venting. But it's lovely. It's so nice to have such gorgeous friends. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, that's on the Woolen Spinning Patreon as well. So that was really, really fun to do. Really enjoyed that. Is there anything else I need to talk about now? I've talked about the Fluff to Stuff. I've talked about the tickets. Oh yeah, so the tickets for the Fluff to Stuff it's €4 or $4, and it says you'll get a Zoom link, and it goes on for about 40 minutes. But to be honest, the last time it went on for like 2 hours, or sorry, 90 minutes. It's originally supposed to be, but it went on for like 2 hours or maybe a little bit more the last time. So that was really lovely. It was lovely. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see what you're making, see how you're getting on, see how the progress is going. It's really lovely to have something like this to encourage me to keep going at certain projects, because I'm finding that I really just want to get this done, but I'm currently in hate mode for this color, but I've done so much work to do it that I'm just doing it. It'll all work out fine in the end. But it is quite interesting, actually, when you look at it up close. I prefer it up close rather than, I just had a look at it there and I was like, ew, on the camera. But up close, it's a lot nicer. And it's really nice to knit with your own hand spun as well. So that's just quite a nice feeling. It's kind of, I don't know, just the feel of it through your hands is really nice. So that is that, I think. I'm going to do another separate little video about the books that I have, my books that I want to read in March. So if you want to watch that, please do. I'd love to have you over there as well. And I love you lots. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions at all, just drop them down below and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. I love you all. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.